Chris, another narrow 1-0 defeat. Your thoughts on your team's performance tonight?
Just been here before, haven't we? Broken record and saying the same things. You know, a tight game against a top side. I've just said there again. I'll pack the game in if I need to motivate my players. There's no issue with a bit of motivation, desire. I know they all want to win. They're just, you know, we're letting ourselves down through the lack of quality in our play, in our game, individually and as a team. You can't create chances. You can't build momentum. You can't drive good teams back if you just keep giving the ball away. And I've said it all along, and I will say it, and I'll sit and say it all along. Systems or whatever don't come into play if we just under no pressure just turn the ball over. And you know, we've worked incredibly hard, and there's so many qualities about this team. There's so many qualities about this team in terms of their effort, the commitment, their organisation, the work rate, the way they go about the business. They stick together, they graft. But the other part of it is that when you do that and you get possession of the ball, then you've got to be brave and you've got to show the quality to open up good teams. And Everton are a good team. And there are a long list of teams that we've played this season that we've had an opportunity to go and hurt and open up. And as I said in there to the players, we're so lacking in the quality that I believe that they've got. Maybe a touch harsh on a couple of the younger players, but there's some really experienced players there that are not playing anywhere near with the football they can do, and showing the quality with the football that they have done, that allows us to come here against Everton and turn a draw into a win, and certainly not a draw into a loss.
And particularly with the sort of attacking options tonight that you went with, both from the start and then throughout the game.
Yeah, you try, and I keep saying it's systems, you know, a game of a few opportunities, a tight game against some really good players, but we've had enough of the ball in certain areas, but we could never get anything going, anything flowing, because, you know, we're passing it out of play, we've got an heavy touch, we're not making that first pass out, we're just, you know, bulleting headers back, from back to front, when we have to show a little bit of composure. So the game, you know, I'm all for a competitive game, and we are, and I imagine you've seen their reaction, and it's not critical because they're a winning team, and they knew it was a difficult game, as did Manchester United, and we talked to their coaching staff afterwards and knew it was going to be a really difficult game, and they worked really hard to win that game of football, and no doubt Everton will say the same thing about us. But we're here to be competitive, but we're here to play as well, and I can't go and play the game for them. They've got to show that composure and ability that they have shown it in the past, and it is quicker and it is harder when you're losing games. But you've got to really, you know, as I said, from somewhere, from within, say, right, here I am. I'm going to add all those qualities that I talked about individually. I'm going to add all those qualities as a team, but when I get the ball, it's time for us to play and time for us to create a little bit of possession, a momentum, a bit of fluidity to our play. But it just felt as if, you know, we never ever had that feeling in our game. It was just all 100 mile an hour rushed, and the good players show those qualities. It's really difficult for me because turn the clock back, we were, you know, flex goal against Villa, you know, the goals that we've scored here last year, the play that we have played, the league hasn't changed, Adam. The players in the league haven't really changed. It's still Dominic up front, and it's still Keane and Mina, and it's still Sigurdsson, and it's still it's still the same players, and it's still Maguire, and it's still Fernandes. Well, it's not Fernandes last year, but it's still this, you know, and it's still and it's still Liverpool. And
is that the hardest part for you,
still,
that you know that your players have it within them?
It's incredible. I can't believe it. It's an incredible, frustrating time, because I know that we have got players that can move the ball around the pitch. You know, people talk about this team over the last 2 or 3 years about how we've moved it around the pitch, how we've opened good teams up, and we have done. But we can't do it if we keep, we don't show the quality, or your touch is not right, or there's enough options in the system. It's nonsense about the system. We changed the system tonight, but there's nothing, and I'm not deflecting, but I'm so frustrated because we're just passing out of play. It's like as if it's just rushed right the way through the team. There's nobody, like I said, and the young kids apart. I don't think we can be too critical about that, but all of them are not showing the quality that I believe they possess, and for me that is really difficult. If I didn't think that, I think we were just a back to front team and we had to play that way, and we couldn't play and we couldn't pass it and we couldn't move it around the team, then I would accept that. But I can, and that is really difficult for me to understand and get my head round.
I mean, 10 minutes to go, you were close to a clean sheet again tonight. In terms of the goal, quality from them, is there more that you can do? How did you view the goal?
Yeah, it's a quick turnover. I think, there's a situation where we've got an opportunity to lock them in at the back post. It off a cross for us. We don't go narrow, we don't go tight, and then obviously they counter off us, and I think it comes out to the right and the ball gets played in, and Bash don't get enough on the head, and we just don't react to the second ball. We're not around the second ball, then obviously it's a set and a finish, and then you're going from out. For me, never felt it was going to be that way. I was just more frustrated about how we couldn't build up that momentum. We tried to change it. We tried to play with a sitting midfield player late on to get a little bit more rhythm into our play, but as I said, it just seemed to be right the way through that we could never really dominate the ball and have that ability to put them on the back foot to force the game to get a win.
I know it's the same for both teams, but the conditions tonight are horrendous, Chris. Do you take that into account?
Nah, they weren't that bad. No, they honestly weren't that bad. It must be worse for you, because it weren't that bad. I never felt that way. I thought it was a competitive game. I thought both teams put the foot in, the referee let it go. There's some bits and pieces yet again I don't like about the game, but I didn't think that. I don't think there was no excuses out there from our players. That wasn't an excuse why the ball comes out the sky and the touch is bad, or we pass it out of play, or we can't knit 3, 4, 5 passes together. There's no excuses for me on that.
And probably positive from an attacking perspective, Leeson, Ollie McBurney, back in and around, and hopefully now they can get a run of games together. And
Leeson needs to do more. It's been a stop-start season for him. We wanted him to come back. He looked in good nick, and then obviously he had the issue with his foot against Preston, then he rolled his ankle again, and he's had some bits and pieces, but he needs to get up to speed. But I ain't got the time to go this 60 minutes. He can't start a game at the moment, so he has to keep conditioning him on the training ground and get a 25-minute spurt in here and a 30-minute spurt in there. You've seen Ollie, he's had an injection in his arm, he gets another smash at it. I don't think anybody can ever criticise him about his commitment or desire to play for this football club. He won't train, he shouldn't even be anywhere near it, but he wanted to. We injected it. Obviously that isn't an ideal, but he's yet again sticking his hand up. Didsy and Rian and the three, I thought it worked quite well. We got into good positions, but there's a lot of other things behind it that's not allowing us to really create and give those forwards the opportunities that they really need and deserve.
Chris, thanks for your time tonight.
Cheers, Adam. Thank you. Cheers.